Recording has started. So we will continue from where we had left yesterday, and we will continue see our components. Okay.
Okay.
Now we have seen what is a component. We have also seen what are the attributes in a component and how using components we can build our workspace. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now I will go back to our product, what we have here, and I want to show you one more thing. Like till now, what we saw is like a component will always be there on the screen, correct?
Yeah.
Let me not unlock it, but let me show you first. Components.
Sir, you forget your sharing the screen.
Okay, thank you for reminding. So I've just gone to the product factory till now, and I'll start sharing my screen. Okay, so now I'm in my product factory, and we will utilize one of the story we are working with. And let me open this particular component which we were working with. Any component basically, it doesn't has to be the one I am checking. It could be a policy component or whatever component. Like we need some component to see this functionality. Now this particular component, what we are saying is what business is saying is like our policy could be of different types. When I say policy could be of different type, let me show you one example. uh, so if you remember, there is a policy tab, right? uh, in the quote, you guys remember there are multiple tabs we have in workspace, correct? And first tab was policy tab, correct?
Yeah.
Now
Yes.
in
Yes.
that
Yes.
policy tab I am defining, like there could be within the single product there could be different type of policies I am selling, like depending on the data customer is supplying. It could be a single life policy or a multi life policy.
Mm.
So these are my policy type, like it could be DIA or DIRS. Depending on these policy types or application form selected, the rest of data should be different, in the sense, like for suppose one of the example we can take for GSI, this particular story we are working with, this occupation underwriting, it should be hidden component for me if it
Okay.
is hybrid and GSI. So the what I'm saying here is, if it is hybrid and GSI, my policy type is hybrid and GSI. Basically, on risk assessment tab, this particular component should not be visible. So now we are not talking about two different products within the same product. Uh, Occupation. So this one, occupation underwriting, it is now visible here, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but for policy GSI, they are saying that this component should not be visible at all. Now, if it was a different product, right, we can do the setting, like we have multiple products here in our product factory. Let me quickly show you. So if you remember, this is our disability income product, and then if I search for the products, it will show me two products here. So if this was a change, like this component has to be visible in this particular product and not in this particular product, it is easy that you go to this particular product and make the changes, that to delete that component from that tab, right? From risk assessment tab, you basically delete these components,
Mm.
correct? And it
Yes.
will not be visible for that particular product.
Mm.
Now let me show you like what I'm talking about, and then we will go in more detail. So in the workspaces, if
So
I
first go to default workspace.
thank you for reminding. Yeah, so I'm in the default workspace now. Let's go to risk assessment tab. And let's see our occupation, this component, right? We're talking about this component. It should be not visible
Visible.
for a certain condition, but for other condition it should be visible. So I cannot go ahead and delete this component, right? So if
Mm.
it was a simple question of like it should not be visible at all, I can just come here and delete this component, correct?
Okay. Yes.
And then I save my product, and then it will be gone basically from the product factory.
Sir, actually here like a policy tab advisor. If here I add one more tab, how to delete this tab?
How to delete this tab?
Yeah.
So there should be some option to delete it.
Since morning I'm trying, but I'm
Okay, we will see
not.
that. Okay,
Mhm.
right now my product is not in edit mode.
Okay.
Okay, but if you want, let me put it in edit mode. Okay, now let's go back to workspace. So one of the tab you want to delete, right?
Yes.
Let's
First
try.
I create explicit. I create one tab. After that we want to delete this particular tab.
See here, there is a delete option
Okay.
on the right side. You just go to that tab which you want to delete, and there
Okay.
is a delete option. Okay.
Okay.
Now that is like you can add also a tab here.
Mm.
Karthik, if you remember from our last sessions, we can add a tab from here. Add tab, and similarly, let me actually go ahead and do one. This tab has assigned components. If snub tab is added, all components will be unassigned. Proceed. Close. What it is saying is I don't have to be in any particular tab. Let's see. Let me select this one, and then I can do a tab. Tab name is test. Simply, I'm just adding one tab. Okay. Now one tab is added. In the test tab, I want to add particular component. Suppose the policy. Okay.
Yes.
I go ahead and create this. Now this tab will be visible in my uh, policy code.
Policy code.
After
Yes.
risk assessment test will be there. Now Pankaj was asking like how do I delete this test
Mm.
tab which we are creating. So simply I will click on this test delete option,
Mm.
and it will delete my tab from here. You want to remove this test tab? I will say yes, remove.
Okay.
It's removed. Now let's come back to our original question of occupation. This tab, this component within this particular tab, I want to hide it for a particular condition. Like, or in other words, what I'm saying is that this component should be applicable only if there is some certain condition is satisfied. Okay, depending on my policy type, want to display this particular component. Now, how do I do that? So actually, last time I didn't take you through the components property files. Okay.
Mm.
Now a component has multiple attributes, right? As we know.
Yes.
Along with that, there are uh, certain properties that it supports. What's let me just say done. Uh, So along with this, it has multiple other options. If you see here, it has multiple other properties. Okay. Uh, Now I'm going to talk about a particular one applicability. Uh, let's mention about these other properties a little. So here we are saying that for this particular component, how many instances are allowed in the system? In policy, like how many instances of a same component will be allowed for me. Like here it is one component, one. Let me show you the example of multiple components. Like I can add multiple instances of a component. So suppose here, like this is a list, right? So right now it has one record, but it can have multiple record. Like if I add a new order report, it will create one more. Similarly, if you see manual outstanding requirement, I can add a new requirement, and I can add as many requirements as I want. So that means what I'm saying is single component can have multiple instances. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the setting we can do it here. Automatically instantiate first component instance means as and when this component gets added onto the screen, that time you instantiate it as well. Okay. Now if I want to show this particular component as a table, like if you have noticed here, no, some components are sometimes displayed like in a tabular form. Here, if you see, this is a table, right?
Mm.
The premium summary also you have might have noticed in your requirement system requirement also you might have noticed that it is a table, right? So how do I show my component as a table? It's very simple, that you click here, show table if at least one instance exists. Okay. Other options you can ignore for now. What I'm basically want to talk to you about is you can add a label, of course, like occupational underwriting, how this component would be shown in the UI. So this is the label of that component, occupational underwriting. Okay, and anything else I want to tell it? This is no. Well, so let's directly go to the properties of the component. So you can actually set multiple properties for your component. One of the properties applicability. Okay, and this is what we are talking about, like when is that your component should be applicable. Like in my case, when my policy type is policy hybrid, this should be not visible, it should be hidden, basically, is what I am saying. Correct, Karthik? Are you understanding?
Yes, yes, Vijay.
So I can set my conditions here. Under set conditions, I can go and I can write some applicability expression here. Now, if you see, this is a big expression. So you can have something like very simple expression, like my component. Let me just copy this just to give you an example uh, and not confuse it. So it could be, applicability expression could be as simple as this, like my component. Sorry. So my component should only be visible or applicable when it is my single or multi-life question in my policy is EML. Okay, right now I have unlocked my uh, uh, product, but if you go to policy, there is a question single or multi. If you guys remember, right? Yesterday I was showing single or multi-life question, or today also I was showing, right?
Yes.
So depending on that option, like I'm saying, like in my policy, I have selected my single or multi-life question as EML. Only then this component should be applicable. Or I can also write not equals, like my when single or multi-life question is not EML, then it should be applicable. Okay, makes sense.
Yes.
You can write some description, like in English, like when single or multi-life question, multi-life question EML only or is not EML, only then this component should be visible. Okay, something like this. So this is a very simple thing, applicability expression. So there could be some requirement like what we have in PFG now, or what Karthik is working on. That this story under risk assessment tab, component visibility we will have to decide. Okay, so this is very easy. Depending on the applicability expression, my component will be either applicable or not applicable. Got it?
Yes.
Now the same thing, I want to show you how it will look in the code base. So if you see, everything what you see in the UI has a underlying code base, right? What I was telling you yesterday. So for this component, if I want to see my XML configuration file, I will have to go to disability income policy product, right? and I can open this component, right? So
Mm.
this component has multiple attributes. Each entry is actually an attribute or a field. Similarly, this one is a field. You know. Now, at the end of these fields, you see that it has a component applicability rule. This is nothing but this applicability rule. So whatever I am showing here in the XML configuration file, it is shown here. So this is the condition on which my component is visible or not visible. Simple, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay, and now actually Karthik's requirement is that for one of the hybrid GSI policy, we don't want to show few of the components. Now Karthik is working
Okay.
on that. Once the code is built, we can actually give you a demo also. Karthik, is it built?
No, Vijay.
Okay,
Still.
still going on. Okay, not a problem. So that is one thing we wanted to talk. You guys have any questions till now? Now, what is a workspace? Within a workspace, we have multiple tabs. Within each tab, we have multiple components, and within each component, we have multiple attributes. And each component has its own properties also. Like it could have multiple instances allowed in the system, or it can be shown in a tabular form. Okay. And one more thing, like if for there could be multiple types of components. Okay, that also I'm going to show you. High table, even hide remove X, bottom, right button, right button, component label, show component label. If you want to show component label, you can check this. If you want to hide component label, you can do that. Because if you remember, in the policy tab, we were adding the component for one of the discount, right? But the label was not shown, correct? Pankaj,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
why it was not shown is because you had not written this label here, or you have said that hide component
Hide.
label
Mm.
if not instantiated. But actually, our component was instantiated. We were able to see the field under that component, but for the component, we were not able to see the label. And let me show you that discount the component. What component was that? MNR discount, right?
Mm.
So for this particular component, if you what I'm thinking is that there should not be a label. Actually, there is a label. Which component?
Need to choose show component level button.
To show it
Mm.
exactly. Good finding. So if I want to show, but for policy, let's see the policy component now. Because policy component, we can see the label, right?
Mm.
Let's see. Yeah, you are right. So it is checked. So that means
Mm.
it will be visible in the UI. If it
Yes.
is not checked, it will not be visible in the UI.
Mm.
Okay, this is also clear. Label is clear. Now, one important thing I want to talk to you about was the relations uh, and little bit of design, how this whole thing is come together and make one workspace, right?
Mm.
So we have been hearing about this root entity, right? uh, so let me create this as a root entity. Okay, this is my root entity. Root entity. Now what is a root entity? This is the root from where you will start adding the components, or if you talk about the database level, right,
Mm.
which is the primary uh, layer of your database or the table where you will start your database entry. Okay, that is my root entity. If I can further define it, my root entity is an entity Uh, so like, what is object class in Java? It is a super
Super
class of
class of the subclasses.
correct. So my root entity is actually a super class of all the entities present in my system. All the entities will be present under this root entity. So now in case of our root entity, it is policy entity is our root entity. But for claim, it will be claim entity will be the root entity. Okay.
Mm.
So this is something similar to object class. Now under this root entity, we will have multiple entities connected. Okay. And
Mm.
now there are multiple ways to connect your entities. We will talk about it. Okay. Now there are multiple, you can call it root entity. Under root entity, it is entity number one, and then we have entity number two, like that. Entity two, correct. Similarly, we have entity n, right?
Mm. Mm.
Entity n. So this is the simple concept that there will be a root entity, and under that you will have all your entities connected. So in other words, you'll have a basic root component under which all the components will be connected. Now the next question you should have at this stage is that, okay, this makes sense that, there is one root entity and then you're connecting it to other, but what is the mechanism you are using to connect it? Okay, like what is there in between this thing, connection? What is the connection between my root entity and entity one? Like suppose you are building a house. That day I was giving you an example. Now a brick is your basic building entity, or uh, a building block, right?
Yes.
And you are putting it one by one and one by one to make your building, correct?
Yes.
Similarly, when we are creating our workspace, we are doing nothing but we are combining our components and putting it one by one and building our workspace, right? But
Yeah.
if you see, when we are building house, how these bricks are connected together, these bricks cannot stay together without using some glue in between them. And the glue in between them is the cement we are using in between them, right?
Yes.
If you are putting one brick, you apply cement on top of that, and then again you put the second brick, isn't it?
Yes.
So your cement is the connection between your root entity and entity, like brick by brick you are adding. So your
Yes.
cement is the connection between your building blocks. So here, what is the connection between your entities is what I want to highlight here. If you see here under components, I am okay. So here, if you see these are the components. Policy is my root entity, and every component is connected. See, all the discount components are added to the root policy. Okay. Similarly, there could be third level of so this is first level, like directly connected to the policy, correct?
Yes.
But there could be some components which are actually, not directly connected to policy, but these are connected. There is a component in between, and then there is a third level. This is policy's first level, this is second level, and then there could be a third level. Let me find out a result example. You will be better understanding it. Where it would be, let me customer access, let's see this one. Discount component view only, feature benefit increase rider. Okay. Let's see insured, if G insured, reconfig insured, let's see. Okay, Now if you see insured, under that you have abuse activity, you have AIDS history, alcohol activity, all these things are there. These are third level. So my first level is policy, correct?
Yes.
Is policy. Under policy you have your insured component, pre-configured insured. Under that you have abuse activity, and similarly you have multiple others under pre-configured insured product component. Sorry, clear? But
Yes.
how these components are connected together is the question what we have in place, right? What is that, connection which is combining these two? What is the glue we are using? That glue is nothing but a port. Like how do you um connect your laptop to uh, charge, right?
Mm.
Like right now my connect charger is connected, and if I can remove it, it's gone, right? It's now
Yes.
it's not charging. So the adapter is the medium to connect power and my laptop, correct?
Yes.
Similarly, we have a port between each component which is connecting these ports. Now, if you see, I will come back. So here I have gone to components. Under components, you see there is a relation where you can see establish the relationship between the components, like the pre-configured insured, pre-config insured is a component under policy component, and then further uh, mm, my abuse activity component is under pre-configured insured. So this relationship you can establish here. But how do I see? So this repository is nothing but a list of all my components. So under that you won't be seeing any um, relation or anything. It's just the list of all the components. So basically, what is a repository, right? You guys know, uh,
Yeah.
like a code repository has your code, you know, a,
Mm.
uh, a Nexus has your repository for maintaining your jar files from where you download all those jar files, correct? That is also a repository. Now, this component
Mm.
repository is nothing but a repository for your component. It will just list all your components. Now, once you create a new component in the system, that component will come and sit here. Okay.
Mm.
So suppose now you developed a new component that will come under repository, but still there is no relation defined for that particular component because you have not added that component to any particular component. Correct. So that component will only sit in the repository, new component I'm talking about. How do you establish the relationship between components is through port.
Out.
Now you have defined your component, it is in the repository, but you have not added in the system. So what you do to add it in the system is go to port. Okay, and now we will see that how pre-configured insured is connected to my policy. Okay, now if I search for pre-configured insured, there is nothing, right, at the primary level. The primary level, what you see here is just the ports. All of this information what you are seeing here is ports. Okay, under these ports you have your components. Now we want to find out pre-configured insured where it is connected. So let me show you. So there is a port named as policy detail dot insureds and principals. Okay, or it could be under parties also. I'm not sure. Let's see that. Okay, now this is a port. Now under that we have pre-configured insured component. Okay. So now suppose I have created a new component here. Okay. And I want to add it under policy. And now I know that, the type of component I have added is another, suppose a CL insured principal, right? So how do I connect it to my component? Basically what I am talking about is I have this root entity, which is my policy entity, and I have created a new component here. So suppose I have created this entity, new entity. Okay, entity new. But now, right now, it is just there in the repository. There is no connection with the policy. But now I want to establish a relation between them. So I will use a connection to connect these, right?
Mm.
And that connection is this port. So first I will identify, what kind of component I have developed. So suppose it is another discount I have added in the system. Okay. Now if I have added another discount component, how I will have to use it? Add it is under discount component, a discount port. Correct. I will go to discount. There are already so many discounts added, right, under this particular port. Now a port could have like when you are charging your laptop, either you can use an extension through which you can use multiple chargers. Correct. You can connect,
Mm.
or it could be a single port in your power supply board where you can connect your single laptop adapter and you can charge your laptop. Similar concept here, under a particular component you can add multiple type of components, like it is working as if it is, there is a extension, like a power supply extension. You can have multiple chargers connected to it. Like if you go to an airport or a railway station, generally you can add multiple chargers to the same port. Correct.
Yes.
Similarly, they have created a multiple type of port. Multiple simply means that you can add one or the more uh, components under this particular port. So suppose like here, if you see, there are multiple discounts they have added. Now, if I want to suppose add a new discount, I have created a new component. I search for the new component. It will be listed here. So suppose this PFG discount MNR, it is not added here. Simply like this is, suppose I have created a new component here in the system and I searched it, it found it. Simply click on connect. What will happen is it will just put it here also under policy. Now I have PFG discount MNR component.
If you are newly created like component, so first we need to specify the port number, no?
So suppose now you have created a new component. Now
Okay.
that component will be under repository. There is no relationship you have defined for that particular component, like where you will be connecting that particular component to.
Okay.
Correct.
Mhm.
Now you are defining the relationship through a port.
Yeah.
Na? Exactly, there could be multiple ports to charge your laptop or phone on an airport, but you go to your gate number and then choose that particular, like you are waiting for your flight, or on the railway station you are waiting for your train. You go to that platform and then you find a suitable charging place on that platform, right? It's not that your train is going to come on the other platform and you are charging on another, and then there is a chance that you will miss your train,
Yes.
right? So first you
Yes.
will have to find out your platform or the port where you have to add that particular component. So now we have identified that we need to add it under policy. Under policy, you will have to find out which port you have to add your particular component to. So in this case, discount I am adding, so it has to be added under policy detail dot discounts. Okay, this is a port. How to develop these ports and how to define these, I will tell you later. But it's very very simple.
Okay.
It's just a simple XML configuration you provide in your Spring Bean,
Mm.
and you will have your port ready. Okay, but understand this concept. Why I'm explaining it in very basic things, because people take months to understand this thing. This is a very basic thing. Like port is nothing but uh, a connection between your components. How you are connecting your components. So now I'm connecting my policy component to the discount component. I'm using discounts, policy details or discounts port to connect my discount component. Okay, now this component is visible under my policy, right? But if I go to my relation now, this is PFG discount MNR, right? relation. So we are under this PFG discount MNR. It's now it's under policy. It's visible. This is my relation under policy. I have a discount which is PFG discount MNR. Let's see under this component how many fields we have and if there is any field selected. Now I have selected this component itself. Now if you see, this will open the component properties for me, where I can select the component property here. So manage attributes. Let's see if there is any attribute which is selected. Included is their discount type. I will just add. Okay, included code. Just these 3-4 fields are enough, and we will see whether these are now visible in my UI. Now what I have done is, there was this new component developed by someone. What I have done is, I have added it under policy, and under policy component, now I'm saying that, out of this component, I'm only using 4 attributes. I'm not using rest of the 3 attributes.
Mm.
Okay. Now will just save it, and let's see if there is this field added. There is this should be added on the policy. I've saved. Let me lock my product before I can go ahead and check it. So while I'm making any changes in my product, I cannot create any code, right?
Yes.
So once I activate my product again, so now I'm reactivating my product, and let me create a new code. Component property type is required. Property type is required. See, it is. I'm creating this. It say complains that you cannot activate it because this property type is required. So I'll have to go back. PFG discount MNR. Let's see which property they are talking about. What was the error? Code. Let me include all of these. Let's see if there is anything else. No more attributes are available. So I have done everything. Let's see if that helps. So it has some properties already provided by a system. Is code string. Okay, let's try to log now. Or log the product now. Oh, I didn't save it. I think.
Mm-hmm. Saves.
And let's see the message clearly this time if it appears again. Okay, activate anyway. Component property type is required. Component property type is required. Let's see. Manner component property type is required. So I have given it. Let's further see what it is saying. Property type is required. Let me just uncheck this one. Discount type. Okay, I think I got it. Now I got it. Why it is complaining? I'll have to go back to component. I'll show you one more thing. It is very interesting. Now system is confused. There are so many type of discount components we have created in the system, correct? But system doesn't know distinguish between these component types. Okay. Now, just to show you like how many discount components we have added. See, we have added so many discount components, right? In the system. The one we are talking about is the PFG discount MNR,
Mm.
right? So how do system differentiate between these components? Because if you see in the background, these are same discount components. Only some. So suppose like you are creating a component of vehicle class, like you are creating car, you are creating a truck, you are creating a bike. No, all of these are vehicles, correct?
Yes.
But how do you tell the system that this is a car and this is a truck and this is a bus? So to distinguish this, no, there is a properties field we have set at the component PFG discount MNR. So if I go to properties, I can define this property PFG discount MNR just to differentiate it from others. Like this is a bus type of vehicle, and this is different from car.
Mm.
I will show you the other discount component here and their property here, so that what we are trying to do here. So if you go to AFD discount property and see the properties here, this is defined as AFD. Okay, so the every uh, discount component should have a different property, so that it could be distinguished or differentiated from the other components what we have in the system. Now we will be able to log the product. Okay, activate anyway, and now I will go ahead and try to create a quote, and we will see that under discount we should have this field added with the 7, 8 or 6, 7 fields, different type of fields. Okay, now this is logged. Let me go to the quote. Yes, I'll try to create a new quote because this is a new component I have added. It might not reflect in the existing one. So let's create a new quote under the policy. You will see. Okay. Now what happens here is now it is initializing our quote. No, it takes little time here because it is initializing our quote in the sense that we are creating this particular quote for this particular customer. So it goes in the background, gets all the information for this particular customer, and it adds it here also. Actually, some problem in my system. Last time also it happens the same, and Pankaj had to do it
Okay.
locally. So this time also, Pankaj,
Okay.
for my policy it is not showing that component. Some problem with my system.
Okay.
Um, so you go ahead and in your system you
Uh,
try to add this discount component under the discounts port,
mm.
and then you also define the property of that component and see that that component actually should be visible here under the discount section.
Okay.
Okay, for me the component gets corrupt
Mm.
somehow. I don't know how. Okay, so that
Mm.
is the task for you.
Okay.
Uh, let's do that. And meanwhile, let's see if system is up for Karthik. Karthik,
Vijay.
is the system up?
No, it is building, still building.
Oh, I will stop the recording then. This demo of we can give you